So recently I got a new pair of wireless noise cancelling headphones, and as a minimalist I try not to purchase new stuff unless I absolutely have to. But I had this situation where my old XM2s were actually broken and then stolen, so I needed to make an upgrade. And I went with the XM3s. I wanted to explain why I picked these and not the XM4s. So let's get started. Hi, my name is Tom, and if this is your first time to this channel, please don't forget to do a hashtag new sub so I can properly welcome you. Oh, and I hate to do this, but I have to ask. It will really help me out if you can hit that like button. Appreciate it. Thanks. Okay, so let's get started with this review. So I got these. These are the Sony WH-1000XM3. Which is a bizarre name. I think every tech YouTuber is mentioning the fact that Sony is really making weird model names, you know? But it is what it is. Now, the XM series has been a very popular brand for the last couple of years, starting with the XM1s, then the 2s came out, and I got the 2s, and then the 3s came out 2 years ago, and this year we got the XM4s, and I was sort of waiting for the XM4s, sort of curious what they would bring to the table, and it seems like they didn't disappoint. They actually made slight improvements everywhere, but basically they didn't break what was already almost perfect. And Sony, I really appreciate that. A lot of companies, they'll just make new designs, new technologies just to be able to sell. You make small tweaks, small adjustments, and I really salute you for that. Okay, so first a little bit of background. So I've been using the XM2s for a couple of years now, and one day they kind of broke on me. What happened was I just dropped them, actually, like this. I just dropped them, okay? And one of the hinges actually broke, and so I thought I was being real clever, and I basically just glued it back on, and it actually worked. I couldn't swivel anymore, but it worked. And then something bizarre happened. Just in a couple of days, I left them on my desk at work, and they were stolen. Like, one day they were just gone. And a couple of days later, they actually returned to my desk, and what I figured happened was that the person who stole them noticed that these were not actually working correctly. You could probably see that there was a little bit of glue on the sides and he couldn't swivel them. I'm sort of assuming it was a he. There are actually girls at my workplace. But anyway, they returned them, and I was like, you know what? The hell with it. I need a new pair of headphones. And I got them. Now, when it comes to the XM series, these headphones, they're not for everyone. If you're like an audiophile, you really enjoyed great audio, then these headphones are not for you. If you're working on video production or music production, these headphones are not for you, because what they'll do is that they'll increase the bass and add more treble. You know, they'll make the sound more enjoyable. They'll not show a true picture of the sound, if that makes sense. When I edit videos, I usually use these headphones. These are the Audio-Technica M50X, and these are great because they sound really natural. Actually, to be completely honest, most of the time when I edit, I actually just maybe use my AirPods. They're good enough for my needs. But I would never use these because these enhance the audio quality a lot. But as a minimalist, I really would like to have everything in one. And some of you guys are probably thinking, what about the AirPods Pro? They have noise canceling. And I haven't tested the AirPods Pro. I hear wonderful things about them, but it's just a matter of physics. You know, you can't get the same amount of noise canceling on the AirPods Pro as you get with the Sony XM3s. And the reason is because with the Sony XM3s, you are basically, you know, isolating your ears from outer noise. And so there is that passive noise canceling, which you just don't get with the AirPods Pro. It's just physically impossible. So yes, the AirPods Pro could probably replace all of my headphones, but then I would have to sacrifice some of the noise canceling. And when it comes to noise canceling, again, when I'm sitting on a train or the bus, I don't want to sacrifice anything. I want to get my hands on the best possible noise canceling that I can. And that's why I don't have the AirPods Pro. But I hope to test them out someday. I really do. Okay, so when I got these, I was actually positively surprised. They feel really good. You know, they fit very well. They are very comfortable to wear for longer periods of time. And basically, I feel like they feel pretty much the same as the XM2s, with a couple of new tweaks. For one thing, I gotta say, the XM2s did have great noise canceling, but when it comes to audio quality, they didn't sound very great, okay? And these are actually an improvement. They sound a lot better. And the noise canceling is a little bit better, not a whole lot, but a little bit better. And so everything that I listen to wearing these headphones just sounds a lot better. Now, I should mention that the main thing that I use these for is that I travel a lot. You know, I'm on trains and buses, and there's a lot of noise that I have to deal with. You know, the humming from the bus or the train, people talking, and I'm the kind of person that really enjoys solitude, quietness, you know, tranquility. That's the kind of person I am. And so noise canceling headphones is something that has greatly improved my life. And so while I don't really like to spend extra money for, you know, stuff, noise canceling headphones is a great tool in my everyday life. I use these every single day. And I don't know, I sort of like to think that they reduce the amount of stress that I feel every day, you know? When I put these on, everything just becomes calm and quiet and peaceful, and I feel like I can breathe again. Okay, so why didn't I pick the XM4s? Well, to be completely honest, I was curious about them, but I knew that they would come at a higher price tag, and they did. Almost twice as much as what you pay for the XM3s today. Now, it does have a couple of benefits like multi-point Bluetooth, so you can basically connect your headphones to a couple of things at the same time. That's pretty cool, but it's not that important to me because when I'm sitting on the bus, I'm really just using my smartphone, so there's really not a whole need for connecting it to a lot of devices. One thing I will mention that I really appreciate about these XM3s compared to my old XM2s is USBC. The XM2s had micro USB, and USB-C is pretty much a flawless standard. And I wish everything came in USB-C. You know, I charge my MacBook Pro with USB-C, and I can use that same cable to charge these. So I think that's pretty great. And just to be completely transparent, I haven't actually tested the XM4s. Everything that I mentioned in this video is based on what I've read, what I've seen other YouTubers talk about. They seem fantastic, and if you want the latest and the greatest, you should definitely go with the XM4s. But me personally, I just don't think that the benefits that you seem to be getting with the XM4s is enough to make me want to pay almost twice as much, you know? Because the most important thing that I want from my headphones is the noise canceling feature. And as I understand it, the XM4s, even though they have an upgraded processor, they don't really add too much more noise canceling. Now, as I mentioned before, I was already very, very pleased with the noise canceling on the XM2s. So I was definitely not disappointed with the XM3s. And I want to mention again that, you know, Sony really did us all a good solid when they didn't upgrade too much. You know, it's still the same design, still the same comfort. When you put these on, they feel comfortable and you don't sweat like some other headphones I've used. Okay, so the XM3s, they pretty much sound perfect by now. Well, no, there are a couple of things that I have to mention. So first of all is build quality. Now, this is premium price. I mean, you pay about $250 for these. You would expect that this is top-notch quality, and I'm sure it is, but these hinges, since I've already experienced the XM2's breaking, these probably could break just as easily. Now, it's important to understand that just because these can break doesn't mean that they're poor quality. It just means that they're more delicate. They're not built like a tank. Now, if I compare it to the Audio-Technica, these are built like a tank. Like, these are pretty much almost indestructible, okay? These, not so much. These ones, you actually should use the case that Sony provides you with. And this brings me actually to my second complaint. This is not the best case I've ever seen. What I think that Sony has done is basically they wanted to create a very compact package so you can very easily fit your headphones in any case, okay? But to put them in here, it's kind of a tingly thing. Like, I've gotten used to it now, but it's still kind of annoying. You know, I sort of memorized how I have to put it in here. Now, I know it looks like I put it in pretty fast, but when you're sitting on a bus, you just want to throw them in, and you can't. You have to, you know, you have to swivel them to the sides, and then you have to turn one of the headphones like this, and the other one leave it like that. And yeah, sure, this is a very compact factor, and this case is beautiful, but this is not the most optimal way. It's not a very quick solution to take off your headphones and put them in, and then, you know, it's not very fast. But I'm being picky, it's not a big deal. All in all, I'm still gonna say that the Sony 1000XM3s are pretty remarkable headphones. I'm very pleased with them. I've used them for about 3 or 4 weeks now. Haven't had any issues. There is this very cool app that you can download so you can tweak the audio. You can even set up the custom button on the headphones, and you get a lot for what you pay. And that's something that I think that most people can appreciate. Now, just want to finally say that I don't think that these headphones are for everyone. If you're gonna be using them to edit videos or music, these are not the headphones to get. You should get something with a wire, with a more natural sound, maybe something like the Audio-Technica M50X. This package right here, this is for people who just want to have peace and quiet in their lives, who just want to be able to shut off the noise whenever they can. And that's what I use them for, that's what I value them for, and that's who I recommend them for. Okay, that's all I have for today. Hope this review helped you out in some way. It will really help me out if you can hit that like button. Appreciate it. Thanks. See you in the next one. Take care. Oh, you're still here. Oh, yeah, that's right. This is the behind the scenes vlog part. And for those of you who are new here, this is something that I do. I basically have this little personal vlog at the end of each video for the subscribers who actually care. So let's just get started. Okay, guys, so I know I haven't posted a video in a while, and it's still that philosophical thing. I'm still sort of thinking, I'm, you know, going through my head, looking at the stats, thinking, what kind of videos do I want to post on this channel? And I'm thinking and probably overanalyzing a lot, but you know, I want to make really good videos for you guys out there, and it's sometimes difficult because you sort of have to find a balance between what you want to film and talk about and what people want to watch. Yeah. So for example, I did a couple of videos that didn't seem to be that interesting. I did the hiking video, I did the iPhone video, and I did the one about cryptocurrency. And these are topics that interest me a lot. And some of you guys liked it and some of you didn't. I think that most of my subscribers are more interested in the MacBook videos, and so I'm going to keep doing those, of course, but there will be other videos like those and like this video also. We'll see how it performs. So yeah, summer is ending. It's been starting to rain quite a bit here in Sweden, and that kind of sucks. I don't know, I'm kind of looking forward to autumn, but I gotta say, it's been very enjoyable these last couple of weeks. We've had some really nice summer days. I've been at the beach a lot more in August than I've been for the entire summer. It's been really enjoyable. You know, just going out there with my GoPro, filming. The water was nice and turquoise green. Is that the way you pronounce it? Turquoise? I don't know. Beautiful water anyway, warm. I was filming crabs and jellyfish and all sorts of things. It was a lot of fun. But as I mentioned, summer is ending. I'm kind of looking forward to autumn though, because it's not as enjoyable to watch movies in the summer, I think, as it is in autumn. You know, something about sitting in a nice cozy theater or in front of the TV when it's like cold and dark outside, and in Sweden it can get like really, really dark. You'll see, don't worry, I'll show you. So I'm looking forward to a couple of releases. I know Batman is not coming out until like next year or so, but I'm really excited about Tenet, you know, the Christopher Nolan movie. It looks really awesome. I'm really looking forward to watching that film. What else? Okay, so with the crypto, as I mentioned, I really recommend that you watch the cryptocurrency video that I made. I probably should have explained a bit more what cryptocurrency is in that video, but yeah, I'm still investing my money into it. I think right now there's probably nothing with as much return on investment that you can get your hands on at the moment. I've already made a lot of money on my cryptocurrencies. So, you know, sky's the limit. I really think this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity. So if you haven't considered buying cryptocurrencies, maybe you should. That's all I'm saying. Okay, I'm not gonna mention cryptocurrencies ever again, because I don't want you to think that I'm just pushing crypto on you. So that's all I have for today. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.